Opening up on Cybertron, we hear someone screaming, "Hurry, this way," as we then cut to Huffer, Warpath, Cup, and Ileta 1 under heavy fire from the Decepticons. As usual, Huffer is complaining about the situation. Ileta cuts him off with a stern order.
Keep your mind on the mission, Huffer. He's in that fortress. That's where we go.
That's a long way with no cover, Ileta.
The grizzled veteran points out.
We're completely cut off, Cup. The only way out is through. We make a run for it from here.
You sure about this?
No choice, and don't ask me again.
You're the boss. Huffer, Warpath, load up.
Asking Huffer how much energy he has left in his combat shield, Huffer tells him 7%. It won't last very long. The 4 Autobots make a break for the fortress. Blocking a bunch of the fire from the Decepticons, Huffer's shield cannot take any more, and then he is shot to pieces by the Decepticons. As Ileta continues her way to the fortress, Cup and Warpath turn to open fire on the Decepticons. Warpath is instantly taken out. As Warpath is destroyed, Cup takes a serious blow to the chest. As he falls, he tells Ileta to save him, and then is unceremoniously eliminated. Kicking down the door, Ileta makes her way through the fortress, which surprisingly has no guards inside. As she rounds one of the corners, she exclaims,
By the spark. What have they done to you?
as her optics fall upon the sight of a flayed and dismembered Ultra Magnus scattered throughout the room. Back on planet Earth in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the captain of the USS Henry Harrison receives a call from his admiral. A very unusual call to go hunt robots. Somewhere on Earth where the Decepticons have located their base.
Soundwave! What is the meaning of this gathering?
Starscream screeches from the top of his perch above the Decepticons.
I called a meeting as a reset, Starscream. We find ourselves on the run, beaten back by barely functioning Autobots and their weakling humans. This is not the way it should be. We, the Decepticons, should be the conquerors. We should be the ones that enslave.
The communications officer starts showing emotion in his monotone voice. Ever the Soundwave loyalist, Rumble, pipes in as well.
I know who'd make it right.
Shut it, whelp! Nobody wants to hear from the pipsqueaks.
Hisses the Seeker as he slams Rumble into the wall.
This is where you are wrong, Starscream. All of us here have sacrificed for our goal. The extermination of the Autobots is necessary. And after trying your hand at leadership, you have failed miserably. It's time to step down.
Taken aback at his subordinates now turning on him.
Decepticons. Look at what your brother does. He lies. He usurps what is right and good. I am the Decepticon leader. I am the one who can lead us back to glory.
Starscream?
Thundercracker cuts him off
He challenged you. This is our way.
as he shoves Starscream towards Soundwave.
Ready yourself for combat.
As the Decepticon forces encircle the two in combat, Starscream starts whimpering
Wait! Wait!
as Soundwave at point-blank range opens fire, destroying a null ray on Starscream. Holding his now wounded arm, Starscream starts pleading.
Soundwave! What about a co-leadership?
The time for talk is done.
As Soundwave connects one solid good punch to shut Starscream up, and then with one swift kick sends the Seeker airborne and flying a very good distance.
Do you yield, Starscream?
Never!
As the Seeker grabs a piece of rubble and throws it at Soundwave, Starscream charges at Soundwave, only to have his face grappled and then thrown to the ground hard. Soundwave throws away his blaster and then proceeds to pummel Starscream repeatedly with both fists. The Seeker tries to worm his null ray up and fire upon the tape deck, only to have Soundwave avoid it and headbutt Starscream hard. Soundwave reaches up and activates the button to open his chest compartment. Starscream starts pleading, screaming that's cheating as Laserbeak swoops in and rips out Starscream's eye.
Here, Laserbeak.
As the mechanical condor swoops in to its owner to perch on his arm.
Soundwave, I am willing to forgive you for this betrayal.
The snivering seeker says as he tries to stand up.
You can still choose the right path for our species. You can.
Staring Starscream, optics to optic, Soundwave coldly says,
You kicked my rabbit.
The communications officer then plunges his fist directly into Starscream's chest, ripping out vital inner components.
The only path left is extermination.
As Starscream starts to go offline, he utters one word,
Hello.
and then falls into the lava below.
Goodbye, Starscream.
Soundwave says to himself, staring as the Seeker falls into oblivion. Turning to the rest of the Decepticons.
These pieces will help heal Rabbit, but I will not just heal my own. We will rebuild together. We will conquer together. We will destroy together. Are you with me, brothers?
As each of the Decepticons take a knee and bow before their new leader, Thundercracker exclaims,
Decepticons, honor our new leader.
Soundwave.
Soundwave. Soundwave. Soundwave.
Outside the Autobot Ark, RC discovers Carly target shooting with Sparkplug's M16 rifle.
It's Carly, isn't it?
The little human shoots a cold response back at RC.
What are you doing?
With another cold glance from Carly, she responds, training. What's it look like?
Is this something you're used to here on Earth?
As Carly misses yet another target, she responds, not really, but you gotta start somewhere.
Can I join you?
The pink Autobot warrior asks the little human before she fires one shot, wiping out all of Carly's targets in one blast, which Carly seems to think is awesome. Turning to Carly, RC says,
Optimus says I'm the best shot he's ever seen. I wish I wasn't so good at it.
She says, as she is consumed by the 1,000-yard stare, remembering horrors from before landing on this beautiful world. The naive little human is shocked to hear RC say such a negative thing about her awesome accuracy. You should be stoked. It'll help when it comes to killing the Decepticons. Killing Starscream.
I can see the fire in your eyes. Be careful it doesn't consume you.
This cold bit of advice from a grizzled veteran upsets the young, inexperienced human. You don't know the first thing about me, RB. RC stares at the little human for a few moments.
I apologize. It's just you remind me of myself when my gears were just beginning to turn. I had a teacher then. His name was Ultra Magnus. My clan was killed during the siege of Cybertron when I was very young. Magnus saved me. He was the one who taught me how to shoot, how to fight. He taught me everything I know. But I wanted justice for my people. Ultra Magnus died because of me, because of my path of hate. A path that takes more than it heals, Carly, if it heals at all.
Carly looks at RC for a few moments, then resets the rifle in her shoulder, opens fire, and says, cool story. Cliffjumper and Jazz are staring out one of the viewports on the Ark that overlooks where RC and Carly are having their little heart-to-spark. I was weak, Jazz. I couldn't kill Starscream. Carly hasn't spoken to me since.
It's all right, Cliff. There's no shame in not pulling the trigger, even in war.
Why do I feel this way?
If it makes you feel any better, Optimus is having the same problem.
Spike, sitting in a wheelchair, is staring at the sunset. He glances at Optimus through the corner of his eye.
Spike, please talk to me.
I know it's not your fault, Optimus. I just need time. Ratchet and Optimus then give Spike some space as they go on a drive for themselves. Ratchet tells Optimus,
Optimus, what Sparky did was his choice. But there's no way to explain that to Spike, Ratchet. He's too young to lose his family. I did this. I must make it up to Spike somehow.
Optimus is then flooded with images of an infant Spike. Distracted by these strange visions, Optimus careens off the road. Ratchet gets his attention just in time for Optimus to transform before he slams headlong into a tree.
What happened? I don't know. Come on, Optimus. Let's get you home.
Back at the Ark, Wheeljack, Jazz, RC, and Cliffjumper are staring at Skywarp as he's integrated into the Ark's systems.
Wheeljack, how come you haven't activated more of us? Or fixed your body already?
I've been trying, but the Decepticons used part of Skywarp to repair Teletran 1, and I accidentally revived the remaining part of his neural cortex. He's locking me out of the repair systems. It means I have to repair each one of us manually, which has taken a lifetime. I just finished fixing Ratchet's legs.
As the half-lobotomized Skywarp chuckles.
I think only part of him is in there. They fried him pretty good.
Eat my vapor, Autobastard.
That's enough of that.
Wheeljack quirps as he hits a button shutting up Skywarp. The four Autobots start discussing what their options are.
Well, what do we do now? We have to find the Decepticons. We need backup.
I can still fix us up. It just takes a little bit longer to figure out a workaround.
Please, make haste, Wheeljack.
Interrupts Optimus as he and Ratchet return to the Ark.
We have the upper hand, but make no mistake, our initiative will not last as long as the Decepticons reign freely over this beautiful Earth.
If that's the case, we'll need a way to find them. Some sort of vehicle to get us a bird's-eye view.
Opening a side door on the Ark and allowing Wheeljack to look in, Optimus just stares at the room full of parts of Cybertronians.
I have a plan for that. Steel yourself, Decepticons. We are coming for you.
This issue opens up with RC standing on a rock as Carly wheels Spike near the water's edge, asking him how he's feeling. His response is not really anything. This launches Carly into a tirade about how they need to protect themselves from the giant metal robots. They killed our dads. Spike corrects her, but my dad wasn't killed. He gave himself up for them. And every time I see them, I think about how he's gone, just like my brother. As the three are watched by some Cybertronian on the other side of the water. Hi, Carly. Hi, Spike. RC told me you guys were out here, as Cliffjumper walks up. I brought some, what do you call them? Colas? Seems like the thing to do near bodies of water. As Cliffjumper hands one to Spike, he tries to give one to Carly, but she gives him the cold shoulder and goes on a tirade about how he had the opportunity to kill Starscream to avenge his little yellow friend and her dad, but he didn't do it. As she walks away, Cliffjumper sits in silence, and Spike puts a reassuring hand on the little Autobot's shoulder. Back on Cybertron.
Primus be damned. I can't find the way out of this place. I swear this is the way I came.
Ielita 1 mutters to herself as she carries the flayed body of Ultra Magnus through the halls of the Decepticon fortress.
Hang on, old friend. I'm going to get you out of here.
No, please.
What is it?
Over 150 years of torture, day and night. Ielita, kill me. Kill me.
The words bring Ielita to a halt as she sits down and cradles the flayed Ultra Magnus.
I'm sorry it took so long to find you, but I'm here now, and I'm not letting you go yet. But if we get taken, yes, I promise, I will end both our sparks myself.
As she picks him up and continues through the labyrinth of the Decepticon fortress. Back on board the USS Harry Harrison in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it is all hands on deck as incoming bogies refuse to identify. As they launch two fighters to intercept, the captain is wondering, was this what they were talking about when they said robots? When his thought is interrupted as one of the jets comes hurtling back down towards the carrier, as the new Decepticon leader and his second-in-command land on deck.
Do not sink the ship yet, Thundercracker. Not until we are over our destination.
Roger that, Commander, Thundercracker responds as he clears the deck of other aircraft.
Huh! How strange. Creatures using these things made of metal to get around. What's it like, human?
He asks the captain as he picks him up, similarly to Starscream picking up Carly's dad.
To be so dependent on things outside of your own self.
The captain begs and pleads that he has a family.
I pity your frailty, small things. Be on your way,
the remaining seeker says as he lets the captain go to join the evacuation efforts.
What are you doing, Thundercracker?
They can't hurt us, leader.
It's true. They are pathetic, but they will tell their superiors about what has transpired here, and there can be no witnesses.
As the seeker starts to protest, Soundwave opens fire.
Regrettable, but necessary.
Back at the Ark.
Turbo rat damned piece of garbage!
Autobot devil, eat my...
Wheeljack, what is it?
This stupid Skywarp Teletran hybrid is giving me the runaround again. I can't bypass his prompts. He's blocking me out of the system.
There's no way to separate his remaining spark from Teletran 1?
I tried, but the Decepticons hardwired them together. If I remove Skywarp, Teletran will cease to function. It'll be this way until we can get more active Cybertronian tech. Now that I'm thinking about it, this was probably a failsafe by Soundwave in case we retook the Ark.
The barely there Skywarp chuckles at Wheeljack's frustration.
Stupid little...
Have patience. Look at what his fellow Decepticons did to him. The small remaining part of him is holding on to what little agency he has left. Do we have video logs of what happened to his body?
After a few moments, Wheeljack pulls up the video logs as Optimus and Jackie 5 watch what happened to Skywarp.
Optimus. He is our enemy.
It is true, Wheeljack, but he is also broken. It is something we have in common.
As a heavily armed and equally pissed off Carly walks in with an RPG, broken's not good, dead is better.
Carly, put the weapon down!
Why, she hisses. This is the one that's friends with Starscream. Spike's hurt because of him.
I know. He has done terrible things, but we need him to help us heal the rest of us. With the rest of the Autobots, I can put an end to this war. Once and for all.
As Carly starts to see logic and reason in Optimus's words, she accidentally fires the RPG. As the rocket proceeds on its course towards Telewarp, RC jumps in the way to intercept it, taking the full blast of the RPG, much to the horror of Carly.
Aha! Ha-ha! Finally! My legs! Skywarp is fixing them!
Wheeljack exclaims as Carly stares at him getting new legs. As Optimus reaches down to talk to Carly.
I know it's hard to see, Carly, but sometimes we can get help from the most strangest of places.
The little human cuts off Optimus Prime, telling him this is not the time to turn this into an Optimus teaching moment. As she storms off, she rants about what is she supposed to do, stand there and be squished. A short while later, RC finds Carly hiding in her van, and RC comments on what a nice van it is. Carly apologizes for blowing RC up, it was an accident, and then asks why didn't Teletran fix her.
Wheeljack said we're low on Energon. The Decepticons use most of it to fix the Constructicons.
Telling RC that they're huge, powerful, total badasses, how come they don't act like that?
We weren't always like this. We were scattered and lost before the war started on our planet. Optimus brought us together. He desires peace above all else.
Carly mutters, easy for him to say.
He doesn't speak of it often, but believe me, his losses could fill a chasm.
Somewhere now under the Pacific Ocean, Soundwave, Thundercracker, and the wreckage of the Harrison are sinking deeper and deeper into the depths.
Soundwave, what are we doing in this wet wasteland? My insides are gonna rust.
It is here that we enact the second part of our strategy, Thundercracker. Starscream had no vision, no plan. His short-sightedness was only outpaced by his mindless need for violence.
As the two Decepticons and the wreckage of the carrier finally make landfall on the bottom of the ocean floor, Soundwave continues.
It is time to begin the long process of truly taking this rich planet for our own devices. It is not a plan that will be done in a day, but it will succeed. Scrapper, report.
The dig is going well, my new leader. We have been waiting for you to arrive to pull her free.
We must use every resource at our disposal. The humans have the most advanced energy technology on this vessel. Nuclear power.
Hook, it's time!
As the Decepticon crane starts pulling with all his might, he pulls the Decepticon vessel, the Nemesis, out from the murky depths of the ocean floor.
We will need it to awaken a vessel of our own.
The Nemesis!
Indeed, the very ship we use to chase our enemies to this planet.
We then cut to the mighty hands of steel holding a small infant, holding Spike's hand as he takes his first steps down the sidewalk. Coloring with him, just scribbles on a little line. Optimus wakes up in a panic. Hello?
What is happening to me?
Hello? The voice calls out yet again. Is anyone there? As Optimus walks into the room where the voice is coming from.
Welcome back to us, Jetfire.
Jetfire. Yes, that is my name. Where am I? How did I get here? I cannot move. As Ratchet walks up behind Optimus Prime in the doorway.
Some of your spark was left, my friend. A small part. Enough to bring you back to us, but only in one form.
Is that Ratchet?
And Optimus, Jet. We're both here.
Optimus, why did you not let me rest? The mighty Autobot leader bows his head in shame.
I wanted to, Jetfire. I truly did. But Teletran 1 is struggling to heal our fallen soldiers, and our Energon is running low. I had to use what was left at my disposal. We needed a way to travel around this world in order to save it.
Is that what I am to you now? A husk? I cannot move. Everything is black. I cannot see the stars anymore. As Optimus turns to walk out of the room.
I'm sorry, my friend. I will leave you to...
No, wait, please, don't leave. It's so dark, please.
All right. I will sit with you for a while.
As the Decepticons finish hooking up all the cables to funnel the nuclear energy from the carrier to the Nemesis.
It's good to be back inside our home, away from home. You don't think... It can't be!
The shocked Decepticons banter back and forth as they approach the door where the bangs are coming from.
When the ship crashed here, he must have escaped, right?
Apparently not.
Do we...
We need all the help we can get right now, Thundercracker.
Commander, are you sure?
Open it.
The last of the Seekers reluctantly presses the button, and as the door opens, it is ripped to shreds by Astrotrain.
Where is he? Astrotrain, wait.
Do you not remember Soundwave? I only ask questions once.
As he grabs the Seeker by the head, shoving his thumb into his mouth.
We do not know.
Picking up the Seeker and throwing him against the wall in a fit of rage, Astrotrain screams.
Lies! Lies! Do you know how long I have been inside this prison? I will have the one that put me there! I will tear his fuel lines from their tanks. I will drink the Energon from its core.
As he starts stomping on the Seeker repeatedly.
I cannot give you information I do not have, warrior.
Swear on your life as a fighter of the greater Decepticon good. Swear it!
When we find him, I swear Megatron will be yours. To do with as you will.
As a somewhat content Astro Train starts storming off.
But for now, I have a mission for you.
Optimus, I got something. Report, Wheeljack. Something just woke up. Something from Cybertron.
Autobots, the Decepticons have finally shown their faces. It's time. Jazz, Cliffjumper, RC, Ratchet, all aboard Jetfire.
When Carly interrupts Optimus Prime, telling him she's going with them, carrying a bag full of explosives and machine gun ammunition.
Carly, no. We cannot be worrying about your safety while waging war on our enemies. You must stay here. You're not a warrior, Carly. I am sorry.
RC interjects.
Optimus, what if I were to take Carly on as my iron apprentice?
RC, that kind of relationship only comes between two Cybertronians.
I know, but if she is willing, then so am I.
Carly questions what an iron apprentice is.
Iron apprentice, a sacred bond between two beings, one older and one younger. It marks the beginning of a clan, what you call family. It's what Ultra Magnus and I had long ago.
Carly asks, so wherever you go, I go, even in a fight?
That's right.
As Optimus Prime walks towards Jetfire.
Then the two of you will stay with Wheeljack to defend our newly retaken home. And watch over young Spike.
Optimus, are we leaving?
Yes, Jetfire. Cliffjumper will pilot you to where the Decepticons are located.
We're gonna take good care of you, buddy. The Autobots take off to stop the Decepticons from completing their evil plans.
When will our girl take to the skies?
Questions the remaining Seeker.
This ship will never fly again. She is too big and needs too much energon. But we only need her antenna. Time to call in reinforcements.
As communications is re-established to their long-forgotten home world, a voice comes through on the speaker.
Soundwave? Is that really you?
As we see Soundwave has re-established communication with Cybertron and communicated with none other than Shockwave. Over the Pacific Ocean as Jetfire screams across the sky, hitting towards the source of the Energon signal.
Massive Energon readings below us, Optimus. Bring us in closer, Cliffjumper.
Meanwhile, under the sea,
Shockwave, I thank you for your willingness to help us.
Your thanks is welcome, Soundwave, but unnecessary. My long-lost brothers are now found. And look at the abundance of riches you have stumbled upon. We will soon be celebrating in the halls of my stronghold.
as both Soundwave and Shockwave press the buttons to activate the space bridge on either end of the connection.
Cybertron's new dawn is soon upon us.
Agreed, dear brother. Let us begin.
As the space bridge connection is complete, the Autobots are flying right over where the beam exits the ocean. Before they could pull up and avoid, the beam hits Jetfire, mortally wounding him yet again.
What hit us? We've lost the beat. Some sort of energy pulse.
As the space bridge connection rips through the Earth's atmosphere and out into the depths of space, Jazz, Ratchet, and Optimus Prime hang out the side of Jetfire as they fall from the sky down to the ocean floor. As Jetfire crash lands into the ocean floor, the Autobots are flung out in various directions. Optimus Prime, as he regains his composure, says,
Autobots, take cover!
as the Constructicons open fire. Cliffjumper comes to rest at the base of the space bridge portal. My. The rabble-rousers are still fighting back, I see. The mad Decepticon scientist states as he walks through the portal, looming over the little red demon, much to the horror of Optimus Prime. We Decepticons have work to do. You Autobot scum are interrupting our glorious mission. As Soundwave walks up behind Shockwave.
We have succeeded, brother.
Indeed. As Shockwave jumps up and transforms into a gun, only to be grabbed by Soundwave and pointed directly in the face of Cliffjumper. As Ratchet starts running towards Cliffjumper and Soundwave.
Let us be done with this foolishness.
Cliffjumper, with his optics sealed shut, waiting for the inevitable end of his spark being destroyed, opens his optics in surprise, and then absolute horror as he stares in front of him. Ratchet?
Cliff.
The medic's vocalizer squeaks out as he succumbs to the massive hole in his chest meant for the tiny Autobot. The Decepticon leader approaches the little red demon and the dying medic as Shockwave exclaims, This tickles me purple, Soundwave. One less red demon.
No!
Optimus Prime bellows as he kicks Soundwave across the face with his foot. As Optimus cradles the dead Ratchet and mourns his friend, Shockwave stands up. Optimus Prime, I see not much has changed. Still snivering, still slimy, still weak. With a glint in his optic of pure hatred, Optimus responds,
Weak? Did you forget our last meeting, Shockwave? Shall I make you cry for mercy a second time? Silence, Autobot dog!
The massive gun screams as he charges Optimus Prime. Back on land, Wheeljack, RC, and Carly are making their way towards the dam. Carly's questioning when are they going to learn how to fight.
In time, Carly. Being linked is less about combat and more about looking out for each other. Like two towers, seeing their world from different angles.
RC asks Wheeljack if he can get the machine back up and running.
I've got some extra supplies from the Ark. With a little luck, we should have enough Energon to bring more of our friends back.
Wheeljack stops mid-sentence as a hail of bullets start pelting him. As Wheeljack and RC transform, they are greeted by a blockade created by the humans that were siding with Sparkplug earlier in the series. As the humans take aim with their weapons, Carly intervenes, gets their attention, and explains that these are the good guys. Good guys, huh? Questions the leader of the militia.
We mean you no harm. That's an Autobot promise.
Back at the hospital, the doctor is telling Spike that the bullet had grazed his spine, something they can work on. But he may not walk again. But there is no never. The doctor's been in this job long enough to never say never. After all, giant robots came from the sky. The doctor is cut off as a massive boom resonates throughout the entire hospital. Both he and Spike exit the room only to have the security guard tell them there's another one.
Where is the one with the tall hair? The one they call Spike?
The Decepticon triple changer questions as he starts pounding on the wall of the already damaged hospital, as the doctor pleads with him to stop. There are people here, children, innocents.
I understand your pain, White Cloak. I do not wish to hurt a lesser being than myself, but I was sent here by my leader Soundwave, and to fulfill my duties, I will kill all your weak in one blast if I must.
Wheeling himself out of the hospital, Spike tells Astrotrain to stop. I'm ready.
Your bravery is inspiring, Fleshly One, and impressive.
The Decepticon space shuttle comments as he takes off.
Very impressive.
Returning to the ocean floor conflict, Optimus Prime is single-handedly holding off Soundwave, Shockwave, and Thundercracker as Jazz jumps in trying to lend a hand, only to be blocked by Scrapper.
Thank you for the assist, Scrapper.
For the cause, my general.
Lifting Optimus over his head, ready to slam him down.
You fought dirty last time, Optimus, but I have learned much since that day. Your ending shall be slow and brutal,
He exclaims as he pile drives Optimus Prime into the ground.
I did it! I defeated the great Optimus Prime! Not so proud now, are you, whelp?
Meanwhile, back on Cybertron, the Combaticons have cornered Ielita and Ultra Magnus down to one tunnel in the mighty Decepticon fortress. As she drags the wounded Autobot warrior deeper and deeper down the tunnel, she opens fire at the Combaticons giving chase. Seeing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, Ielita, desperate to escape and save her comrade, charges headlong into the light, only to blindly charge into Shockwave as he was getting ready to open fire on Optimus Prime, killing him. As Ielita questions where she's at, Onslaught, walking through the portal along with Brawl, calls for the Combaticons to merge and form Bruticus, but before he can finish his order, Ielita sees Optimus's ion blaster, dives for it, takes aim, and unloads upon the space bridge. Onslaught dives out of the way, avoiding the inevitable doom coming their way, but Brawl, the unfortunate tank and leg of the Combiner, is caught midway as the portal shuts down, severing him in two.
Decepticons, remove the Autobot berserkers from this planet for good.
Orders the Decepticon leader as he opens fire, landing a blow sending Cliffjumper and Jazz flying.
Jazz! Cliffjumper!
Optimus, we need to retreat!
No, not without my... Ah!
As Optimus Prime gets shot in the back, Ielita 1 grabs him and starts dragging him as well as Ultra Magnus. The female Autobot literally walking out of the frying pan and directly into the fire itself, tells Optimus,
They're gone! We have to go!
as she then tells him to transform and roll out as she throws Ultra Magnus on his back and provides cover fire as they escape.
Decepticons, prepare to give
No, Soundwave. Let them go. We must focus on repairing the link between our two worlds. The Autobots are now mere ants in relation to our plan.
As Cliffjumper regains his consciousness, he sees Optimus Prime driving away from the battle.
Oh ho! Look at these gifts from Primus.
As Shockwave and the Decepticons approach Cliffjumper and the knocked-out Jazz.
These Autobots have been on this planet for many years. I must conduct experiments on the effect this has had on them.
Thundercracker questions experiments.
Oh yes.
Shockwave amuses as Cliffjumper starts to plead, taking hold of Cliffjumper's foot and dragging him away.
Painful experiments.
Clawing at the ground in desperation to escape, knowing the fate that awaits him, Cliffjumper starts screaming in terror. After all, there is nothing worse than being an experiment for Shockwave, is there? Back on the surface, Spike, inside Astro Train, questions what's that beam of light.
The solution to the disease plaguing our planet.
You mean Cybertron? Asks the wheelchair-bound human.
It must be surprising to you, seeing us standing in front of you in all our metallic glory. But where we hail from is a shell of its former self. Our home is in need of substance. And look at the land you live in. Your resources are immeasurable and ripe for the taking.
The human questions, where are you taking me?
Soundwave is no fool. The one he is partnered with has interests in new species. Soundwave's deliverance of a real live human will solidify ties with the leader of Cybertron. I won't lie to you, Spike with the long hair. You will be tortured.
As Spike starts to protest the torture part, something lands on Astro Train, shutting down his engines, bringing this triple changer from the sky. After Astro Train makes landfall and finally comes to a stop, his side is ripped open all of a sudden, and a voice calls out to Spike. Your name is Spike, yes? My name is Beachcomber. I'm here to rescue you.
I pity you, Autobots. I see your struggle.
As he sends Wheeljack flying through the air, holding Cliffjumper by the face. Throwing the small red Autobot, he turns to Brawn.
You fight with honor and passion. If only your cause was just. But it is offensively naive.
As he puts his fusion cannon directly to Brawn's spark and fires.
Brawn, no!
Screams Optimus Prime. As the two leaders charge at each other, Optimus screams.
Stop this, Megatron!
Never, Prime! Never!
As the two leaders trade blows back and forth.
I can't believe it. The leader of the Autobots begging for an end. Your softness brought malice to our precious home.
As Megatron straddles Optimus Prime, digging a thumb into Optimus's optic, Prime begs him to stop. As a massive smile washes over the tyrant's face as his thumb goes deeper into Optimus's optic.
Your weakness was the downfall of Cybertron.
Prime manages to activate his Energon axe and with one fell swoop, slices off the arm of Megatron. As the Autobot leader kicks Megatron towards the opening in the arc, Megatron barely grabs a hold with his still functioning hand, yelling at his insubordinate Starscream to help him. Realizing he'll never have a better opportunity than this, Starscream levels his null ray at Megatron.
Don't worry. Rest now. What are you? No! Let me relieve you of the heavy burden of leadership.
As the snivering Seeker fires two blasts from his null ray, hitting Megatron in the chest, and then the very same optic he took from Optimus Prime. Megatron plummets from the arc and down towards planet Earth. Skywarp lifting Beachcomber over his head, walking over to the hole in the hull of the Autobot shuttle, and throwing the poor little Autobot out into the void of space.
Enjoy your time traveling the stars,
the purple Seeker retorts. As Beachcomber is drifting closer and closer to the small celestial body they were passing, he crash lands and makes a small crater. As Beachcomber stands up, he starts looking around, seeing the beautiful sight of planet Earth from our lunar surface. The peace-loving Autobot sits down and just starts staring at the beautiful sight in front of him, the smile slowly fading as he realizes, I'm gonna be here a while. And after a while, Beachcomber finally sees activity on the moon. The Apollo mission has landed. This is his ticket off this damn rock. After hitching a ride on our lunar lander and finally making his way to Earth, Beachcomber arrives on a small island and sees all the beautiful life forms that our world has to offer. The small, peace-loving Autobot has immediately fallen in love with our beautiful jewel of a planet. Beachcomber gets to work tracking down his Autobot brothers and, unfortunately, their enemies, the Decepticons. He does find the Autobot Ark, and his finger hesitates over the button to reactivate them. When Spike asks him, "Why didn't you wake them?"
I knew that even with all our good intentions, the Autobots weren't meant for Earth. Eventually, we'd end up running it. I knew war would start again somehow, because of us. This way, they could sleep forever. There could be peace forever.
Spike asks him if you've been alone this entire time. Beachcomber responds, "No, not alone," as he motions towards all the life forms that he's made friends with.
You're from this world, too. You deserve saving as much as any one of these beautiful creatures.
Insolent fool! How dare you tie me down?
My friend, would you like some Energon?
I have reserves I took from the Ark.
I want nothing from you, Autobot. Release me or feel my steel.
I wish I could, truly, but I'm fairly certain you would kill me.
And I would do it slowly.
Case in point. Spike chips in and says he was taking me to another Decepticon.
And I shall still. Shockwave will have much interest in your fleshy parts.
Spike asks if you've heard of him. Every Autobot has. Cold, calculating, a deadly strategist. He likes taking his time when he pulls Autobots apart.
And he and Soundwave will take this planet for all it's worth.
Spike chips in, saying he's going to bleed my planet dry, which Astro Train does express regret for this. What do we do? Asks Spike. With sorrow in his voice, Beachcomber responds, I promised myself I would never hurt anyone or anything again. That mindset doesn't exactly help in a war, and I want no part of it. Soundwave, good news! The Constructicons have repaired the portal to Cyber. What are you doing? Exclaims Shockwave as he walks into the repair bay of the Nemesis.
I love it. I must repair them.
Grabbing the corpse of the mechanical feline by the foot, Shockwave says, We are on the doorstep to a new dawn of Cybertron, and you're here distracting yourself with such things? Bah! Let us recycle this old thing. You will be able to build better, stronger versions of your Recordicons when you take the bronze throne on your home planet. My goodness! As something catches Shockwave's eye. Soundwave, follow me! Running outside of the Nemesis and right up to the edge of their force field, holding back all the ocean water, Shockwave is in amazement and awe as he walks up and sees a blue whale. Have you ever seen anything so majestic?
This planet has many organic wonders. There is something new to see every day.
Soundwave says as Shockwave puts a hand uncomfortably on the cassette player's shoulder. Isn't it wonderful to know that this beauty will aid such a wonderful cause?
Commander Shockwave, the feeder is prepped and ready,
Scrapper informs the leader of Cybertron. Very good, the evil Cyclops says with glee in his vocalizer. As Scrapper activates the machine, it starts pulling in all the whales and other life forms in the area and starts blending them together in an organic puree, much to the delight of Shockwave. Back at the dam,
we're in business.
Wheeljack, you never cease to amaze.
It'd be more impressive if I didn't try so damn hard.
Wheeljack, help us.
Asks Ileta as she walks in with Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime.
By the spark, Optimus and Ileta won?
Her face a mixture of sorrow and happiness. Ileta says it's good to see you, RC. As Wheeljack questions if this is one of ours, RC instantly recognizes him.
It can't be. Ultra Magnus!
RC, I don't want you to see me like this.
Reunited under these strange circumstances, RC is at least happy to know that Ultra Magnus is alive. As Wheeljack starts to tell Magnus,
It's all right, Magnus. I'm sure Ratchet will fix you up in...
Wheeljack notices Optimus's change in demeanor.
Prime, what is it?
I am sorry, my friend. Ratchet, he...
No. Wheeljack, please don't touch me. I just need a moment.
The Autobot engineer exclaims as he walks out of the room. Back on the Nemesis, Cliffjumper and Jazz are locked in a room in total darkness, chained to the wall. As they try to figure out if they're both still functioning, Shockwave walks into the room. As Cliffjumper tells Shockwave to fuck off, Jazz tells him, Your kind don't fit into this mix. My kind? At least I do not leave my soldiers behind for the collection of their enemy.
Optimus didn't. He wouldn't!
Not that it matters much after all. I thought we could have a conversation about this planet and your role in it. And look, I've brought some tools to help us along the way.
What is he gonna do to them?
Thundercracker questions.
Come, Thundercracker. It is best not to dwell on such things.
Soundwave says as he escorts Thundercracker away from the torture chamber as Cliffjumper and Jazz start screaming in agony. As Soundwave and Thundercracker walk past the Combaticons who did make it to Earth, Soundwave continues to tell Thundercracker.
Shockwave's tactics are brutal and simplistic, but he controls all of Cybertron. As much as we may dislike it, we need him.
They continue their conversation as they walk past Onslaught.
Then maybe he can help us mount an assault on the Ark. What the Autobots did to my brother.
Skywarp cannot be helped.
But we were forced to retreat before I could take his body back. He's now an Autobot plaything. We must...
Out of the question. You are a soldier of the Decepticon army. Your life is mine. Do not forget it.
Cutting back to the Autobots, we see Optimus and Ielita conversing.
What they've done to Magnus, he'll do to your men as well.
We have to go get them.
It's not going to be easy. It took me an eternity to get to Magnus, and even then, I lost many. We could have used you then.
I was trapped here.
We could have used you eons ago, when things got bad. When they took over Cybertron, when they took Magnus, but you had already left.
I had to make a choice. What I did was for the good of Cybertron.
There's not much good left there, Prime. No Energon, Decepticon rule. Our people are starving and enslaved. And here you are, in your new paradise.
As the couple look out at the ocean and see Shockwave's beam ripping through the sky still.
Shockwave has seen this place now. He won't leave it untouched. He's going to take what is here to fuel our home and the Decepticon army.
We must stop him. Will you join me?
My brothers, it is time.
Haven't we already started?
Questions Thundercracker.
Huh! Gathering all this planet has to offer with such small tech as this would take a century.
As the purple scientist starts activating buttons on the console.
No, our world is on the edge of devastation. We must move faster.
As the mad scientist's machine starts activating and turning the pureed organic matter into a fuel source, the ocean floor is illuminated in a light glow due to the conversion process as the machine begins to power up.
Our planet writhes with thirst.
As the machine finally belches out a massive energy beam straight into the atmosphere and into the depths of space.
Why not bring our home to the source?
As Cybertron starts coming through the portal at the end of the energy beam.
Yes, the hour of our victory has come.
And as the planet Cybertron edges closer and closer to our world of Earth, Shockwave exclaims,
Let the harvest begin.
As Cybertron approaches Earth, Beachcomber circles around the cyclone that is sucking up all the sea life for Shockwave's Energon harvester.
Do you remember the first time we met? I was clanless, helpless, until you saved me. You showed me the way.
RC tells Ultra Magnus as he lies on the repair bay, when Ielita interjects from the doorway.
It doesn't matter what he does or doesn't get, RC. You made a choice. You abandoned the cause.
RC cuts her off with a quick punch to the face as Ielita tries to stand up.
You don't know me,
RC says with a glare in her optic. As Ielita 1 walks away, Carly asks what happened to Magnus.
He was a captive of Shockwave for hundreds of years.
Carly asks, isn't Shockwave who has Jazz and Cliffjumper?
The very same. They are probably being tortured as we speak.
Carly is horrified at RC's words.
How goes Ultra Magnus's repairs?
I'm just now getting to his exterior plating. But Optimus, without Ratchet, bringing him back to full health will drain us of almost all the energon we took from the dam. We could keep him like this and revive more Autobots.
When Ultra Magnus himself cuts off Wheeljack.
I must be part of this new resistance. I want to fight.
Back on board the Nemesis,
Shockwave, the portal back to Cybertron has been repaired.
very good. As Soundwave holds up Ravage's badly damaged body, he pleads with Shockwave.
Brother, even with the spare parts I have gathered, the rooms to Ravage are dear. I need Cybertronian technology. I would like to travel back with you.
Soundwave, you must focus on the task at hand. Take this moment of quiet to reflect on your priorities while I check on the status of my fortress.
Shockwave spits at Soundwave as he turns to walk through the portal to address the Combaticons. As soon as he walks through the portal, the Combaticons start hounding him with questions.
Silence, dogs! Do not concern yourselves with such matters. Should you not be watching the walls of this fortress? Our Energon readings will be spiking the Autobot rebel sensors. Man the battlements and prepare for assault. They know what power we wield now.
Turning his one evil eye towards the storage tanks of Energon.
And what a beautiful power it is.
I've taken some surface scans of the part of Cybertron in Earth's orbit. The Nemesis is one connection point of that portal. But if my readings are correct, there's a second source point on Cybertron inside some kind of large fortress.
Shockwave's fortress. It's where I escaped from before jumping through to this planet.
Ileta 1 says as she walks in the door.
It must be where he's hoarding the Energon he's stealing. A sort of storage facility to help fuel his war effort back home. If we destroyed what's left of the Nemesis, it would sever the link to Earth. But Shockwave already's taken so much from this planet that he's surely got enough Energon on Cybertron to take it over completely.
Shockwave not having enough fuel to power his forces is the only reason the Autobots on Cybertron have survived this long.
Well, he's got his fuel now, and then some.
As a small voice pipes up, aren't we forgetting something here? What about Cliff? We gotta go find him.
On that, we agree, Carly.
That won't be easy, Optimus. You saw what Shockwave can do. They've got the upper hand.
Ileta, we must rescue our warriors.
Rescue our warriors? What about the Autobot warriors ground to death by the Decepticons when Optimus Prime left the very war he helped begin? It was me in the trenches for countless years. It was me that lost everything there. You haven't seen how bad it's become.
Ileta 1 spits at Optimus Prime.
I understand your anger, Ileta 1. But Jazz and Cliffjumper are in mortal danger. We must focus on them, and then destroy the Nemesis in order to save this planet.
And what of Cybertron? Leave it to Shockwave? There are still Autobots on our planet fighting to the death. Would you leave them to die?
Stumbling over his words and taken aback at the ferocity that Ileta 1 has shown, Optimus simply responds,
I am confident in our abilities, Ileta, and our old friends.
Carly walks in and sees RC loading all sorts of armament while she's muttering to herself.
I can't believe what they did to Magnus. They're animals. They don't deserve to exist.
As Carly tries to get RC to talk about it, Ileta 1 walks up.
RC, I just wanted to...
Please, Ileta. Let's just forget it.
Just listen. I was going to say it's good to see a fire still inside you.
Outside the Ark, Optimus Prime stares off into space when Ileta walks up and asks him what's he doing.
Thinking of an Autobot now gone.
Add him to the pile of the dead, I suppose.
Ratchet said I was too concerned with this world. But I brought the war to them. They need us now.
We have our own problems, Optimus.
That is true. But I'm beginning to think that we need them to survive as well.
So, a bull rush on the Nemesis. They'll be ready for us. We'll lose more today.
We're not going head on.
Prime walks away as Ileta asks what does he mean.
Among all the Autobots, who has teleportation abilities?
None.
Exactly.
Prime responds as he walks towards Wheeljack and RC.
Coordinates locked in, Optimus. Skywarp's coding accepted it. Able and willing, if you can believe it.
Handing Ileeta 1 a bunch of explosive charges, Wheeljack continues.
I also constructed the charges you asked for. I coded them to a trigger on your personal keypad so you can get far enough away, set it, and press it.
Thank you, Wheeljack. How is Magnus?
Almost done. I've got your opticals displayed on the computer over here, so we'll be able to find you when you're ready. We'll be right behind you.
When Carly pipes up and says, "Don't you realize how much of an asset I can be? You're making a mistake."
Someday you'll be ready, Carly. But for now, you must stay back.
As Carly says that I am an iron apprentice, RC kneels down and puts her in her place.
And I am your iron intercessor, like Magnus was for me, and I can't have what happened to him happen to you.
Carly interjects, but Cliffjumper has saved me so many times. I have to save him. RC turns around before walking through the portal and gives Carly one last bit of reassurance.
I will save him, Carly. I promise.
Sitting on the shoreline, Spike asks Beachcomber what did he find.
The Decepticons are taking all the life from the ocean up to Cybertron. It's awful. It's what's meant to be!
Astro Train growls as Beachcomber walks up with some Energon to give him.
Here, this will keep you alive until your fellow Decepticons find you. No! I will not be left in captivity yet again, smart dammit!
With Astro Train screaming in the background for his freedom, Spike asks Beachcomber, what should we do?
What can we do, Spike? All this war, all this violence and killing, nothing helps. We must go.
After a few moments of pondering, Spike agrees. He and Beachcomber start walking away.
Don't worry, Spike. We'll find another quiet part of this world.
As the two trek through the forest, they come across a deer. Spike has an instant flashback to when Optimus Prime showed compassion over the one he accidentally killed. As the deer runs off, Spike turns to Beachcomber. I know how you feel, Beachcomber. It feels wrong to fight, but I don't think I have to. I just know I can't run away. He then looks up at Cybertron, inching closer and closer to planet Earth.
I must admit, Autobots, your resilience is most impressive. You keep trying to get in my head, and I'll keep playing my tune.
Shockwave cuts Jazz off with a quick slap to the face.
Please do not smear your bravery with musical platitudes. If you refuse to talk, I have other ways. Better ways.
As the mad scientist picks up a device and walks closer to Cliffjumper.
If I want to see what you've experienced in this new world.
Jazz bellows leave him be as Cliffjumper starts to squirm in his restraints as Shockwave puts the device right in front of his optic.
I can just take it from the source.
With a small dink to the back of his head as Optimus Prime's ion blaster makes contact.
You shall do no such thing, Decepticon. Drop it.
Shockwave drops the device as RC holds him at gunpoint while Optimus Prime frees his Autobot captives.
How are you doing, my old friends? I'll be all right, Optimus, but Cliff is hurt bad.
As Ileeta 1 comes in telling them that she's planted the last charge, RC cuts her off.
How does it feel, Decepticon? Does it feel good to be on the other side of a loaded barrel? How about I end you right now?
RC, stop!
Prime bellows as he grabs her.
Remember how far you've come. Don't lose yourself to this path again.
As Shockwave kicks RC into Optimus Prime, he takes off running and grabs Cliffjumper.
Not another step!
Shockwave makes a break for it, holding his new little red shield.
To me, my Decepticons! Combine yourselves presently into Devastator!
Brushing off the confusion from the chaos, the Constructicons merge to form Devastator. As the behemoth slams its fist down, the Autobots barely avoid it.
Don't worry, Ileeta!
Prime yells as Shockwave turns to Soundwave.
Soundwave, what is that?
Some sort of portal.
As two figures start running through the portal, Optimus finishes his statement.
This is why we have backup.
Oh, yeah.
Wheeljack chuckles as he and Ultra Magnus, armed to the teeth, step through the portal, ready to fight the Decepticons. The first Decepticon that Ultra Magnus lays his optics on is the one and only Shockwave. As the memories start flooding back through Ultra Magnus's memory core, he starts to stutter.
I'm sorry. I can't.
He screams as he flees the battle, leaving the rest of the Autobots in shock. But an amused Shockwave simply responds.
I broke his mind, and now I shall break your bodies.
Back on the Ark, Carly is staring in absolute horror as the view monitor shows what Optimus Prime sees.
Decepticons!
Shockwave exclaims as he transforms to be held by Soundwave.
Let us be done with this Autobot blight. Forever.
Carly makes a break for her van. She has to do something. Jumping into cover, Wheeljack asks,
What happened to Magnus?
I do not know.
as Carly turns the ignition of her van, slams it into gear, and floors the accelerator, racing towards the teleportation portal opened by Skywarp.
Optimus, are you still connected to the charges?
I lead us set them, but I can't blow the Nemesis with Cliffjumper so close.
He is cut off by the little human bellowing, "When are you going to learn? I am here to stay and to fight," as her van slams into the chest of Soundwave, knocking both Shockwave and Cliffjumper from his grasp. Cliffjumper manages to grasp a hold of Carly's van as she speeds away from Soundwave. As she's apologizing to Cliffjumper, Devastator slams his hand down, smashing the rear end of the van, sending Cliffjumper flying into the air. With the heavy hitter of the Decepticons now distracted, Optimus Prime seizes the opportunity.
Autobots, while they're distracted, let's get our fallen brother! Charge!
As Cliffjumper tells Carly to hurry, get out of the wreckage, he barely throws her out of the way when Devastator slams his foot down, crushing the van and pinning Cliffjumper's arm. The Combiner then kicks the wreckage of the van, still attached to Cliffjumper, through the space bridge. Just as Swindle is rounding up the rest of the Combaticons to go through the portal, Cliffjumper and a van come smashing through. Using the rushing water to gain altitude, Optimus Prime pops out of the surf behind Devastator and screams,
Now, Elita!
as Optimus Prime opens fire with his fusion cannon into the back of Devastator's head. While the behemoth is stumbling, Ilita 1 zips around his feet and wraps his legs Empire Strikes Back style. The disoriented and top-heavy behemoth stumbles and falls onto Shockwave's harvester, much to the horror of the mad scientist.
My harvester! No!
With the machine destroyed, the portal to Cybertron is now closing. As Cybertron slowly returns to its place in the universe, Shockwave runs towards his space bridge.
I shall bring reinforcements. You will see. You will pay.
As Optimus runs into the portal to save Cliffjumper, Wheeljack tries to stop him.
Optimus, the charges. We can send Cybertron back completely right now.
And I will, Wheeljack. But it was me that left Jazz and Cliffjumper behind.
But
I will not leave them again!
On the other side of the space bridge, Shockwave is addressing the Combaticons about their new pest they have. When Vortex turns around,
Guys? Oh,
the mighty hand of Optimus Prime cuts off Vortex and slams him down hard to the ground, which makes him fire at Blastoff and shoots him in the face, as Optimus Prime turns his ion blaster on Swindle and opens fire. The three remaining Combaticons flee the room as Shockwave screams at them.
Cowards! Stand and fight!
With a glare of rage in his optic, Optimus Prime approaches Shockwave.
Come on, then.
Pointing his blaster at Cliffjumper, Shockwave starts threatening.
Another step, and he dies.
His threat cut short by his arm being blown clean off his body as Optimus Prime coldly asks,
Is this all you do, Shockwave? Ratchet! Magnus! Life!
As the Cyclops now lunges at Optimus Prime,
All you do is take away what is good!
the Autobot commander slams Shockwave to the ground and starts repeatedly pummeling the Cyclops. As each fist makes a connection, Optimus Prime starts having flashbacks to him holding a young Spite Witwicky as an infant in his hands. And then a nightmarish vision, a taloned hand holding the baby as it is being consumed by Cybertronian wires. As Optimus grabs a hold of Shockwave's face, something snaps in Optimus. He drives his mechanical thumbs deep into the eye socket of Shockwave, ripping apart his head.
What have I done?
Optimus says in disgust as he recoils away from Shockwave's corpse.
Welcome back to the war, Optimus Prime. I finally see your old self returning.
No, I'm not like that anymore, Aelita. Something came over me. I don't know what it was.
Realizing that the portal is almost upon them, Optimus Prime scoops up Cliffjumper.
Cybertron is returning to its rightful place in the galaxy. We must get back to Earth before we return with it. Come, Cliffjumper. Let's go home.
Just before Optimus walks through the portal, it explodes, sending him and Cliffjumper flying backwards.
Aelita! What?
You are home, Optimus. We need you here. The Autobot resistance needs you. Here.
The Cybertronian resistance commander pleads with Optimus Prime, pointing at all the Energon containers around them.
All this Energon taken. We can use it. Together.
No, not like this.
As Optimus brings up his datapad to start setting off the charges, Aelita 1 stops him.
Don't bother, Optimus. I never set the charges in the first place.
Turning towards the Energon storage crates, Aelita continues.
The Earth has so much to give. Look at all the Energon we have already.
Energon taken by Shockwave. You're willing to feed Cybertron with the blood of their planet?
Optimus Prime starts shaking with rage as Aelita apologizes for playing his hand like this, and yes, she would sacrifice Earth to save Cybertron. Leveling the fusion cannon that once belonged to Megatron at the Energon storage containers, Optimus coldly states,
Earth needs me. Earth needs us.
Please! Your people need you.
She starts pleading as she tries to stay his hand.
I need you.
I'm sorry, Aelita.
Don't abandon us again!
She pleads as Optimus Prime pulls the trigger on Megatron's fusion cannon. The force of the explosion is great enough to shear off a chunk of Cybertron, and Aelita is miraculously spared as she is thrown from the explosion.
You chose.
She looks up to realize Cybertron is now back in its place in the universe, far, far away from Earth, and that a chunk of Cybertron is now missing.
You chose Earth over us.
The remaining part of Cybertron slowly starts falling back towards Earth. As Optimus Prime enters Earth's atmosphere,
It burns! Oh, if this is the end of my spark, then I thank the Primes that this is my last sight.
I know, Optimus. This place reveals new beauties every moment. Beachcomber quirks as he's riding his surfboard trying to catch up to Optimus.
Beachcomber?
An insanely confused Optimus Prime asks as he reaches out to grasp Beachcomber's hand. The two Autobots surf down the cascading water as it falls back to planet Earth. Optimus Prime looks on in horror.
What have I done? What have I done?
As the remaining part of Cybertron finally lands in the Pacific Ocean. As with the last time I've done the full story arc video, if you've made it this far in the video, Wicked Peoples, I thank you. I think it takes a lot of willpower to listen to me for over an hour. but at least I had some help this time, a different voice, so it wasn't completely me. Thank you so much, Keirsten Greenfield, for what you've done with Aelita 1 in the later issues of this story arc. Thank you so much. And yeah, I left in my old performance as Aelita 1 in the earlier issues she appeared because I kind of like the horrible contrast. In canon, this is going to be down to a battle vocalizer. So if voices change, it's because vocalizers have short-circuited or glitched out or something like that. They're mechanical beings, okay? This is my loophole for continuity issues. And as always, please go out and buy your own physical and or digital copies of the media that I've covered to experience the full content that it has to offer. And support the people who created it, because I want them to continue creating this awesome shit so I can continue to do this awesome stuff for fun, and at the same time while I'm having fun while doing it, you all have enjoyment in the way I've portrayed the story, or an opinion I have at the end of the video, or something inside this video you got enjoyment out of. And that just fuels me doing it for the fun of it even more. So it's a cycle I would like to continue, because I remember the old school YouTube, before the dark times, before the monetization of the empire. I don't want no money for this shit. I just really dig doing Transformer voices, especially Optimus Prime, Megatron,
Soundwave,
And Starscream.
because some of these voices I can just roll
Straight into without any problem at all.
And yes, Wicked Peoples, that was all one little blurb, no editing in any of the voices getting mixed together. I mean, I am getting a little bit better at audio editing, but I can't blend audio that damn well yet. But anyway, I've rambled on for long enough at the end of this hour-long video, so once again, thank you, Wicked Peoples, for taking the time out of your day to listen and or watch this video. I hope I brightened it in some way, shape, and or form. And as always, please go out and support the people behind these Wicked series to keep the content going. And until next time, this is Fishie 22.8, logging off. Collect responsibly, Wicked Peoples.